Oh, man, what's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. Do you want to build a snowman? Jesus.
No.
Yeah, man, this is so bad. Hi, I have a massive echo on my headphones right now. Evo, start the show for us.
All right, cool. So, look, everybody, this is kind of the last show of the year. Tomorrow, the big game is going on. The Superb Owl is happening tomorrow. And as per usual, Raw Dog Sports is here to talk about the game, talk about prop bets, talk about our regular bets in the game, talk about some exotic bets that we're going to be doing for the game, all the fun ones that, involve your typical Gatorade colors, things like how many times Cardi B's tits are going to flop out. Probably shouldn't have said tits in the first 2 minutes of the show, but it's all good. It's fun, and that's what we're here for. Raw, authentic. Raw authenticity is all that we bring. Mike, how you doing there, buddy? I could hear the echo on my side, by the way.
Yeah, it was terrible. I couldn't even barely think. Like, I was trying to listen to radio calls, a student and another instructor talk inside the fucking GCS again. Oh my God, my brain basically just exploded. Hi, everybody. This is Raw Dog Sports. I'm Mike. That's Evo. Woo! Holy cow, that was tough. So we are trying to troubleshoot some stuff. We are planning to go live very shortly here on TikTok, but for some reason it was going crazy in my headphones here. We're gonna see if I can't get that up. Derpy, thank you for hopping in here already, brother. We've got a lot of shit to talk about. We're gonna get into Super Bowl prop bets, all sorts of stuff. Man, James Harden. We can talk a little bit about James Harden as well. But Evo, go ahead and get us going back into the show. I'm gonna try, now that I've got the echo to finally fucking stop, I'm gonna see if I can get us live on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to that, there's been, the NBA trade deadline obviously brought up James Harden, some things that have gone on there. We had NFL honors. I was not able to watch because I was out having libations at a new Mexican restaurant with my wife and enjoying that. And I think, based on early reviews, my night was probably better than if you were watching NFL honors. So we're going to get into a little bit of that, get into our thoughts on the game, trade deadline stuff, because obviously it impacted our teams, and hopefully wrap this up, put a nice bow on the end of the 25-26 season. So that way we can start coming to you next week, looking ahead towards the 26-27 NFL season and all the other sports that are going to be going on, baseball, basketball, hockey. We got the Winter Olympics that have begun. We can start kind of shifting our focus a little bit. But as usual, we're always going to be focusing a heavy amount on football because that's what we love to do. So, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to get into this NFL honors stuff? Because you sat down and watched it. Like I said, I was out having a couple margs, some fajitas, as my fantastic whites like to say, and some fish tacos at a new Mexican restaurant. Was it, in fact, probably better in my experience than it was for your experience watching NFL honors?
100%, without a doubt. There was nothing fun about the NFL honors. Like, getting to see who was going to win the awards was great, but the entire show was awful. It seemed like they tried to kind of recreate what was done before with, Shane Gillis and kind of some of the off-color jokes, but they did it with people who are nowhere near as fucking funny, or people who are just outright not funny at all. John Hamm was, I mean, he's a great actor, not a comedian.
He has a comedic style to him, but he's not a comedian. Like, I think the Mad Men John Hamm is seen as such like just a stern kind of asshole guy that when he does something a little bit off color, it is funny. But I get what you're saying. Shane Gillis is a completely different league, and true blue, fantastic comedian. If they sent John Hamm up there trying to provide that comic relief, it's good in like you're not expecting a short spurt. But if you're having him up there to host and it's kind of a regular thing, which again, didn't watch, that would be a little bit off-putting. One thing that I did definitely catch, Drewski. Do you like how he announced Jaxon Smith-Njiba?
I don't think anybody did a good job announcing, but no, I don't think he did a good job announcing Jaxon Smith-Njiba. He is a Seahawks fan, though, correct?
I don't know.
My understanding.
I don't know. Drewski seems like the type of guy to me that will just kind of go with whatever fan base that he's pandering to at the moment. And that sounds very pejorative, like I don't like Drewski. Some of his stuff is extremely hilarious. He takes a lot of risks. Some of it's shit. Some of it's really funny. I got a bit of a chuckle because you got to assume NFL Honors isn't made for the common NFL fan. It's another one of those things, and sorry, like that it's a male-dominated sport. It's meant to bring in the wives and girlfriends and things a little bit more usually of the sports fans. Something that if you're a dude and you're dating a gal, and she's not into sports, but you're trying to get her into it, why not have an award show? Because chicks love that shit, right? I mean, producer Amber, I see her going, in the background. No, she's not doing that at all. She's just watching. But it's a way to kind of bring them in and get them used to that stuff. But it's not really for us, so to speak. Like we're there for the awards and who actually wins in the end. But getting a Drewski out there and obviously kind of intentionally struggling on Jaxon Smith-Njiba's name and dropping stuff pretty close to the N-word is supposed to be that comedic relief for people that don't understand who he is, possibly. Those less common viewers, I would think. And in that respect, I get it. It was funny in that respect.
Yeah, listen, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with racial humor. I think it's funny. I like, as long as you're not being hateful with the things that you're saying. Like, you can talk about something that we all know is there and we all see. Like, that's how we get past some of that shit, at least in my opinion. But you know what? It is what it is. I thought that the pronunciation of names, like Drewski, like, obviously he was trying to be funny, it felt like. But what was not funny was what happened with Tiffany Haddish, because she just mispronounced Mike Vrabel's name wrong twice. Because she didn't know how to say it.
Could have been Love is Great. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube.
I have not.
It's Drewski's dating show. And he gets a whole bunch of ratchet chicks from like Atlanta to try to date him. Very obviously scripted for the most part, but
for sure. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah. And
this TikTok thing is just being a pain in the dick. I thought I had it, and then the echo happened, and then I lost it.
So Tiffany Haddish, what exactly happened with her? I understood that she had difficulty with names and it wasn't meant to be a joke.
No, she can't read, pretty sure, and she's not funny. And then also, when she was announcing the winner of the Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel was the winner. Correct, that's right, Mike Vrabel. Congratulations on becoming the first coach to do what you're doing, playing for the team that you won a Super Bowl with in the Super Bowl. Not important enough to know your name or how to pronounce it. Mike Vrabel. I'm not sure if they did practices for these fucking things. And if they did, I know that Tiffany Haddish needed it. Why the fuck wasn't she there at practice? Like, it was so bad, dude. Like, as somebody who wants to work in media and like trying to get into those things, do you feel like you should be a little bit better prepared for a big moment like that? National TV, you don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Like, I mispronounce people's names on a small podcast, not on national TV. I guarantee you, if you're going to send my ass out in front of a large audience, I'm going to know how to pronounce a man's name. Come the fuck on.
Yeah. And if the practices weren't done, or they talked to her and she's like, yeah, I'm a football fan, but I don't know the people or something like that. Like you would think the teleprompter would at least have things phonetically spelled out, like VRAY-BELL or something like that to get it a little bit better.
Did she just show up and say, here's this thing, open it and read it? Like there had to be some sort of fucking practice.
You would think so. But if the NFL did anything over this past week or so, I think that they showed that their production value that they put into the whole Hall of Fame, bringing people in and Pro Bowl and NFL honors was pretty shit. And it's kind of becoming even more of an afterthought. It had its lowest viewers as a whole, not just the Pro Bowl game, but the as a whole, that it's like had in a long time, if not ever. It just was not well received. In addition, apparently San Francisco is just not being well received. Talking about, I guess, like San Fran's going to have a tough time getting a Super Bowl to go back there because it seems like when most cities are having the Super Bowl, they really embrace it. You can't walk anywhere in around that city without knowing that the big game is happening there. And it started really early where the airport looked like it was just another Tuesday there. Nothing going on, no signage, anything like that. And apparently the city is just kind of really downtrodden, probably still filled with homeless poop. But like it just doesn't seem like they're trying very hard in San Francisco this year. And like the NFL isn't trying very hard to promote it as well as they should be.
I don't have anything for you there, brother. I don't know what to add.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it's the NFL just wasn't expecting these teams to be in there. When you don't have your normal Mahomes, like they had to have stuff just queued up for Josh Allen and Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, and then all of a sudden it's Drake May and Sam Darnold. They're probably like, shit.
That's not something that I can accept, though. The NFL fucking knowing
multi-billion-dollar organization.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's why I don't know where to fucking go because this kind of thing shouldn't be happening. Like, I don't. Come on, NFL. But listen, this is coming from the same group of people that basically said that, you know what, the NFL, our officials are doing such a great job. It's unbelievable how good of a job that they do, considering all that they do and all that they go through. Like this NFL season has been fantastic, but this like last few weeks cycle with NFL honors and everything has really kind of soured the NFL a little bit for me. Like, get people who are supposed to be in the Hall of Fame in the Hall of Fame. Like, get the marketing out there. Like, let's get this product to the levels that it's already a multi-billion-dollar industry. Like, let's act like it at some point. But
look, I don't disagree. It almost feels a little bit akin to something I've seen more recently in something that a space that I'm into, which is the PC building kind of space where you have only a few outlets where you can get PC parts for things like GPUs. You've got two major brands, AMD and NVIDIA. And if I lose people, I apologize, but we just kind of do it live here. And these companies are able to kind of charge whatever they want for their parts because there's no competition. And it seems like as the years go along, they almost just kind of get lazy. It's like, we're going to slap a new higher number on these things and call it this year's version. But realistically, it's barely an upgrade from before. And they just know that people are going to buy it because they have to. And that's kind of what the NFL is. It's the main professional football league in the world. And it seems like while they should be proud of their product, trying to advance it and bring more fans in, which, they try to do with these European markets and other markets and stuff like that. It seems like they also know you're going to watch it. What the fuck else are you going to do on Sunday? Like, you're going to watch our product. So why are we going to put in the extra effort to bring you a good presentation? And that's really what it's felt like since the end of those championship games. It just has felt really kind of off-putting. So I get where you're coming from. They need a new creative direction to try to boost things.
What do you do with the Pro Bowl though? Like, we've already tried to adjust it. Like, it's no longer a football game because people don't want to play in it because of injuries, and I understand that. That's a very real thing. Got it. But okay, so the fake bullshit game, nobody was watching either. And now the skills competition things, nobody's really watching either. Like we talked about it slightly on the last episode, like those old school 90s ones where they were running the gauntlet or who could throw it the fucking farthest. Those kinds of things, those old school, I enjoy those a lot more than the shit that we see now. Now, don't get me wrong, watching dudes play dodgeball is cool, but it's really hard in a sport where everybody's wearing a helmet to get emotionally connected with them. Like, this is one problem that the NFL's kind of always had in pushing out some of their best players and their biggest stars is that their faces are always covered. So seeing them play games is fun, but I don't have that same connection with that guy because I'm not constantly seeing his face. It's a weird marketing thing, but it's a real thing. So yeah. I don't know how you change it and make it better. I really don't.
I honestly haven't given it a whole lot of thought since our last episode, but it is a good question because I think as the week went on and NFL honors being bad and stuff too, this whole week just felt really underwhelming. So that's a question for anyone that's watching. What are your thoughts on how the NFL can make this whole week, this whole lead up to the Super Bowl better? How can they make the Pro Bowl better? Obviously, the game is not being played like it used to. It's dodgeball and things like that. It's flag football. Is that something you like? Something you don't? Is there some way that they need to change it? What does NFL honors need to do? A thing that we've talked about also in our last show. How does the Hall of Fame and their induction and selection of people, how does that need to change? Because it seems to be a weird, possibly, not correct voting system, I'll say, to keep it light again, which we received some pushback on that for sure. When, we kind of called out them not bringing in Belichick and not bringing in Robert Kraft, and the cheating allegation stuff came up constantly. And I get that to an extent, but also they kind of also, in addition to that, are inarguably the best. We would love to hear your guys' ideas. Anyone out there that's watching of ways that the NFL can do better. And we'll probably think about that a little bit more as we move into the offseason, of ways that we can kind of better advance the game, better advance some of these premier time slots that they're in for the off-season events and things like that. Because I know I already have some notes on some things that I would like to see changed with an NFL off-season that we'll talk about in these more dry times going forward. But we'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
All right, man. So let's kind of stick with some of this off-season stuff for a little bit. Let's get into the NFL honors because there were some awards handed out. And let's start at the top, man. AP MVP goes to Matthew Stafford, and the closest race in a very, very long time. Did they get this thing right, man? Because obviously it was close, it was contentious. Apparently, there might have been some votes that maybe shouldn't have been cast for some guys that didn't make any sense, that could have gone to Drake May. Where did you land on this? Was Stafford the right choice?
I think when you look at the entirety of the season, including the offseason as a whole, yeah, it was probably going to Stafford. The next closest person that I think could have really been talked about might have been Sam Darnold, and that's depending on how much you want to weigh getting your team to the Super Bowl, especially as a new player to that team. Obviously, Drake May came in second, I believe 1 vote behind from tying. And Drake May had a fantastic year. The playoffs haven't been as great, and weather played a huge factor in that. I don't think that he was necessarily the deciding factors of the games there at the end, making him not necessarily the most valuable player on his team at times. Whereas with the Rams, it was kind of inarguable. Yes, you have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams, and you have some great players on that team. But Matthew Stafford was the engine that caused that whole team to run. Despite having a couple hiccup games towards the end of the year, I do think that they got that one correct. You bring up some of the votes that kind of went other ways, maybe making reference specifically to the Justin Herbert pick. The guy who voted for him, and I can't remember, I think Brett Coleman, maybe, an NFL podcaster and whatnot. He actually came right out and he said, I'm the one vote for Justin Herbert, and explained himself. And I get where he's coming from. And it kind of makes you question, and this might get a little bit into politics. Why vote for someone if you know that they're not going to win? And I know that's something that you've brought up before, voting possibly for libertarian parties or something other than just the primary Democrat and Republican. Why do it? So I think that you probably would be able to make an argument as to why, if he truly believes in what Justin Herbert did, why he should vote for him, even though he knows that it's a losing battle.
So from an aspect of voting, you should always vote in the manner which your heart believes. Like, otherwise, you're not actually voting. You're going along with what everybody else is doing because you want to be a part of the winning side. But which is more important to you? To actually have your opinions heard and voice your opinions, even though they might not be the ones that are picked, or feeling like you're on the winning team and saying what everybody else is fucking saying. So from that aspect, I understand and I respect the fact that he did what he did, because he at least came out and justified why he was doing what he was doing. That I will listen to. Not, oh man, I'm a fucking Chargers fan, and because I saw the justification. The offensive line that he played with and everything that happened to that team and the place that he was able to get them showed how valuable to Justin Herbert is. I think that is a very valid point. So yeah, I can get behind the idea that he places his vote somewhere where it wasn't gonna matter, and maybe that fucks over somebody else, but it's not fucking over somebody else. If everybody truly voted the way they believed, we would actually know what the fuck everybody believes, and then the right winner would win. But we got to stop doing this whole, oh, well, this person thinks this, and I kind of think maybe some of that too, so I'm going to do what they do and vote the way they vote. I don't care if it's politics or fucking MVP vote. It shouldn't matter. Vote the way you believe, God damn it.
Makes a lot of sense to me, for sure. And look, one of the things with these votes, you would like the person that wins to generally be undeniable. Matthew Stafford had a phenomenal season. I wouldn't say that he was undeniable. I wouldn't say that Drake May was either. And so having it be a close race makes a lot of sense, because there was no one true undeniable person that absolutely needed to receive it. It makes sense that this was a close race, and one where there's going to be votes that weren't going to go to the traditionally viewed top two candidates. So I'm completely cool with it.
Yeah. I'm glad they went to Stafford. I think that it's a award he deserved. Looking at the stats, Stafford ran for no yards. Obviously, Stafford's an old man, right? Drake May did more with his legs. But Stafford threw, was it 16 more, producer Amber? 16 more touchdowns that he threw? Like, the amount of touchdown passes more was absurd. That's his position. He plays quarterback. He plays quarterback in the NFL. And like had 133% of Drake May's touchdown passes. That's the MVP. I'm okay with that.
And at the end of the day, it's not even a statistical thing. It's who's most valuable to their team, which was the argument for Justin Herbert. It's who was the most valuable person on a team. Adrian Peterson was the last non-quarterback to win MVP. And it's because that Vikings team would have never made it to the playoffs, would have never made it as far as they did. Without him, he literally ran with them on his back. That team would have gotten nowhere near double-digit wins or anything like that without him on the team. Matthew Stafford.
Christian Ponder?
Yes, Christian Ponder. Most notably known for Samantha Ponder. But it wouldn't have happened without him. Same way that this Rams team would not have been the same if Jimmy Garoppolo was out there slinging the ball around. And whoever, Joshua Dobbs for the Patriots, if Drake May was out and it was Josh Dobbs in there, it wouldn't have been the same. So obviously they're the most important, and typically that ends up becoming a quarterback. So it shouldn't be purely about the statistics either. Obviously, it's a lot of the eye test and the nuance to it of who truly is the most valuable person to their team, making them the MVP.
Yeah. All right. Well, somebody who was incredibly valuable to their team, also up in New England, won AP Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel. Tiffany Haddish. Come on, man. Like, figure it the fuck. She sounded like she was a little drunk.
Yeah.
She was also hounding for dick. Just anybody could have got it that night, dude.
Well,
Puka for sure.
There's Puka's on the Sydney Sweeney train apparently, so he's trying to get with that. You've got a bunch of professional athletes out there. Why not?
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be slinging my puss around.
I feel that. Producer Amber is in the back shaking her head.
She's going again.
Yeah. Oh no, but so Vrabel gets the award here. I mean, if this was a 2-man race, it's him and McDonald. I would have leaned McDonald, honestly. But I think that Vrabel took a team that not many people expected to be very good, and now they're in the Super Bowl. Whereas the Seahawks were kind of already going to always be at least halfway decent. We weren't sure what was going to happen with the quarterback position.
Yeah. For me, it makes sense with Vrabel because of the monumental jump. Like you said, the Seahawks were not a bad team the year before. They weren't expected to make this sort of ascension, but it wasn't like they were a poverty franchise or anything like that. Whereas the Patriots, outside of the prospects of Drake May being good, which he had shown some things as a rookie, it was a team completely devoid of talent. You're having, old, oft-injured, retread-type players brought in like a Stefon Diggs. You're having a bunch of guys who were previous backups or third stringers who are going to be starting on this team, like a Vidarian Lowe playing on offensive line. You have a whole bunch of not necessarily no-name guys, but cast-asides, things like that you are cobbling together on this roster to try to put together a competent roster. And Mike Vrabel was able to take them from being one of the worst teams in the league to obviously now in the Super Bowl. That's not just because they found the magic formula. They didn't, moneyball this to find the correct players that go out there and put together a competent team. It came from significantly good coaching and community and culture that he brought to that team. So while obviously props to everything that the Seahawks did, the huge monumental leap that this Patriots team made and how good they were, regardless of who they were playing, because yes, I know that they had a weaker schedule. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a weak schedule if you don't go out there and beat the teams that are bad. And he did. And they did it pretty handily most of the time. Like, it makes a lot of sense to me. And again, we brought it up last week. But Vrabel should have won simply based off of his comments on both of his Bussin' with the Boys appearances this year, because it doesn't get a whole lot better than what he said.
Cut off half of it, baby. Still
Yeah.
number 6.
Yeah. Because earlier in the year, they asked him, would you cut your dick off for a Super Bowl? And he made the comment about how his wife would probably provide the knife for it. And obviously, this go around, the most G thing, like, I wonder how long it would make me feel better knowing that he came up with that in the moment, but I'm sure he did.
He's been thinking about that.
Yeah. I'll cut off half of it and leave her 6. Phenomenal. That's like, he probably had a Shane Gillis who was like, hey, here's a freebie.
There you go. Yeah. A classic joke. I can't in good conscience root for the Patriots again already, but I love Vrabel. I love everything Vrabel's about. He's a great coach. I mean, I wish we could have kept him here in Cleveland. Glad Coach Monken is here. Very glad. But, keeping Vrabel around instead of Stefanski this last year might have been a better idea. Whatever. Anyways, moving on to the AP Comeback Player of the Year. I feel like I've said this before. It's Christian McCaffrey.
Where did he come back from?
Was it injury again?
I don't know. When is he not injured?
That's what I like.
When is any NFL player not injured? And I think that's the bar that they were looking at. I don't know if I don't recall him having a significant injury the year prior, personally.
Yeah, this award feels like it's been kind of weird for a while now. Joe Flacco really drew attention to the fact that this award is kind of dumb. Unless you have a player that is like severely hurt, like fucking dying on the field,
yeah,
and then coming
NFL
back.
Didn't have a DeMar Hamlin this year, so just give it to Christian McCaffrey again because he's always hurt. Yeah. It felt pretty bad. And I also lost money on that because before the year started, I put money on JJ McCarthy being the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, that did not go well.
Came on my back for sure with that one.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian style, baby.
Yeah.
All right, AP
go ahead.
Player of the Year.
Talk about your defensive player of the year. I know you fucking want to. You're sitting here.
Not yet. We still got offensive player of the year.
Okay.
JSN, Jaxon Smith-Njiba. I mean, this made a lot of sense. He was a dog all year. I thought maybe it would go to the quarterback that didn't win MVP, but I also am glad that it went to a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I know Bengals fans were salty as fuck that JSN got it and Jamar Chase did not get it when he won the Triple Crown. Sucks to suck, nerds. Congrats to JSN. A great year, man. I mean, he is an absolute baller. He's insane.
Yeah, I figured it would have been between like him and Puka, with the kind of run that Puka had at times. Makes sense. Again, these shouldn't be based on purely statistics, but this is much more of a statistically based type of award compared to an MVP. And that being said, to the Bengals fans out there, me personally, I get it with Jamar Chase. If I had to draw the narrative around that, why he wouldn't it be as deserving? It would probably have to be the fact that he was on a very shit team this year, playing from behind, where he's kind of having to get force fed versus a JSN or a Puka or someone like that who are on very competitive teams who are putting up these statistical numbers because they're playing in competitive games.
So I think they were not complaining that he didn't win it this year. I think it was last year when he won the Triple Crown.
Still staying. Their ass last year too. I can say this just rewind it and play it from last year. It's the same thing.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed.
And you guys kept your coach, so run it back, baby.
Hell yeah. I love it. You know who else is gonna love it? The reigning 2-time defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett.
Here we go. Excuse me.
I'm not sure you had enough arm reach there based on the picture.
Got to keep it on the screen. Otherwise, I got to back up and I have no pants on. So,
I mean, this was a fucking no-brainer. I mean, this is unanimous. Set the sack record. You win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if there's anything else you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
But
do we need to talk about his hammer again?
No, I don't think so.
Ladies.
No, I'm good. However, you know what? That does bring me to
Amber's in the background going,
about the ladies, though.
Again. See, I like this. No one can see producer Amber right now, and no matter what she's doing or not doing, I just get to portray that that's happening.
That's very true. But speaking of ladies, we are a part of the No Sleeves Network, and we have actually just brought on our very first female veteran content creator. So if you guys go over to the nosleevesnetwork.com, you can check them out. Her name is Lacey Cooper. She is married to Matt Cooper, who you guys may have seen. But she has her own TikTok channel called Rollin with the Coops. They do RV content, some camping stuff. Generally, Lacey's just kind of out doing life stuff. I think she's on this was a face thing. What the fuck's it called? Producer Amber will tell me in the comments in the background. Skincare. She's on a skincare kick. That's it. Skincare. So if you guys are into that kind of stuff, go check out nosleevesnetwork.com and Rolling with the Coops. That's a pretty cool little channel over there. Thank you to Lacey for joining us. And then let's hop back in. because we got some more awards. Tet McMillan wins AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. Surprising to you after Shuck wins the other award earlier in the day.
No, not necessarily, because this was a weird year for rookies, I think. Like, a lot of them came on early and then kind of faded out. I'm thinking a lot of Emeka Egbuka. We saw really good things from Trevion Henderson. Then it was just real spotty, patchy with him. Shuck obviously showed up really good, especially in the end of the year when he was playing. And I think that, he's generally deserving of the award that he got. But he was still playing like average NFL football on a pretty bad team, which props to that. And Tet McMillan was a good receiver this year. He didn't necessarily stand out too much. I would say that based on all the other rookie receivers, he was probably the best. But yeah, it just was, again, kind of felt underwhelming with the rookies somewhat this year. And maybe that's because of, typically we're used to the quarterback class kind of taking the shine and things like that, or, some offensive player really just cementing themselves as a top 5 in their position out of nowhere. We didn't really have that this year. So I'm okay with the pick. I wasn't surprised, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it was someone else either.
Yeah. I was a little surprised because typically those awards kind of go in lockstep, that one guy wins it, but typically we have somebody that kind of shines throughout the entire year. We had a lot of spotty performances by rookies. Ted is a guy that kind of was there week in, week out, never was really spectacular, never was really terrible, but he also had kind of weird ass quarterback play from Bryce Young. So I was okay with it. And also Tyler Shuck not winning it didn't make me look like an asshole, saying that he wasn't any good, because if you come out and win Rookie of the Year after I say you weren't going to be very good, it's going to make me look like an asshole. So I appreciated that. But what else is going to make me look like an asshole is the fact that the Falcons fans still don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're bitching that the defensive rookie of the year is Carson Schwesinger and not James Pierce, which is just an insane narrative, I think, that's being pushed by Falcons fans. But Carson Schwesinger was always supposed to be.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's good.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember you weren't super stoked at the Schwesinger pick when it happened. I was like, I don't know.
I thought it was picked too high. It's not that I didn't like the pick. I thought he was picked too high. I was wrong.
We're wrong on the show all the time.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But the idea that James Pierce could have or should have won this instead of Schwesinger, I think is insane. If you're going to have a conversation about somebody else winning, it's Nicky Manwari, who is playing in the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, and also for Falcons fans, I didn't think that he was the best defensive rookie on our team. Watts is another name that's brought up. I thought he did better, personally.
Yeah. So I'm glad Carson won. I believe that was the right person that should have won that award. Looked like a fucking all-pro. This one, I was just waiting for it. Other than that, man, we can talk about. I don't care. You care about moment of the year?
No. I didn't care about any of this shit, to be completely honest, because I didn't watch it. It didn't capture me.
One we got to talk about, because this show used to be called the Lineman Lounge. First year it's ever been around. Protector of the year goes to Bears guard Joe Thuney, best lineman in the NFL. Joe Thuney. I kind of thought that's where it was going to go when I saw the names. I mean, that Bears line was completely changed, and he was a huge piece of that. Obviously, you could talk about a number of guys potentially winning this award every year. I'm excited that they finally have started to give some shine to the big boys. I feel like linemen are starting to finally get a little bit more love.
Yeah. And this is one that almost requires a lot more nuance, talking about these awards, because you have like pancakes pressures allowed, sacks allowed for these offensive linemen, and not a whole lot else.
Against.
Yeah. It is a lot more of like who truly is doing the best at their position. And Thuney is and has been one of the best everywhere he goes. Patriots, Chiefs, now on the Bears. He's just a stalwart piece, great protector. Makes a lot of sense with this pick.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Other than that, we're going to get out of this because we got a lot of football to talk about. We got Superb Owl. Whoo. It's coming tomorrow. I've been saying who a lot.
There's an owl coming. That's the O noise for an owl.
That is the O noise for an owl. That's right. It was very gentle.
Passionate lover.
I feel like you gotta be gentle. I mean, they're birds.
If you were an owl and you were busting nuts, would you turn your head around? Like, you know how owls can do the whole like.
I don't know.
These are the thoughts that we have.
Trying to catch it from another angle, right?
We're degenerate veterans. It's stuff that you have to think about.
That's very true. All right, man. Let's talk about the game. Are you ready to start talking about and actually breaking down this game? I want to kind of go a little bit like we have done in the past, position group by position group, which position group is better, and then we can get to who's going to win this game and how we're going to bet this motherfucker based on who we think is better. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
All right, man. So we're going to start with the most important position group on a football team. The offensive line. That's why we were just talking about Joe Thuney, guys. Figure it the fuck out. So obviously the offensive lines in this are going to be vitally important. The Patriots offensive line has been much improved. They do a good job of moving Drake May, and Drake May helps them out quite a bit by the use of his legs. Conversely, we can see Sam Darnold use his legs, but that's not something that he's typically going to do. Sam's also had a pretty decent year, been protected well. Where do you go? Where do you give the edge in this matchup on the offensive lines? Seahawks, Patriots.
I completely give it to the Seahawks. Now, shout out to this Patriots offensive line. Will Campbell, all this talk in the draft process about his short arms and everything. The dude might not be like one of the best tackles in the league, but he's very good, and he gives up that full effort. You're going to get the most from him. He's going to be a good left tackle in this league for a long time going forward. Jared Wilson, rookie out of Georgia, stepping in pretty well. Garrett Bradbury, my former center, slider guy, but obviously has done pretty well with this team this year. Maybe that's a reason why we no longer have the same offensive line coach for letting him go. Michael Wenwu and Morgan Moses are guys who are just kind of average players. At best, this offensive line has a bunch of average to above average guys when they're performing correctly. And I think that they were schemed really well to do a good job. That plus the mobility of Drake May has made them look good. But the Seattle Seahawks offensive line is getting pretty stacked. Charles Cross, Gray Zabel, my fucking dude. Love him out there. Jalen Sundell, really fun, interesting story with this guy. He hasn't been in the league very long, just starting this year, actually. He was seen as like a mid-round draft pick, I believe 2 or 3 years ago. Had broken his foot in college, got it surgically repaired, went to the Senior Bowl, and found out in medicals at the Senior Bowl, his foot was rebroken. He didn't know. Agents didn't know. Nothing. Wasn't able to get it fixed in time to perform at the combine or pro days or anything like that. And he fell out of the draft. What was originally seen as a guy who was going to be a mid-round pick fell out of the draft. Made it a couple invites to training camps, didn't get anywhere. Ended up making the practice squad for the Seahawks, making the 53. Became the incumbent starter this year and has looked really fucking good doing it. A huge steal for that Seahawks team. Anthony Bradford and Abraham Lucas, they've got good tackles there in Cross and Lucas. Meaty earth movers. It's shown in the running game this year in particular. The Patriots' run game has been all right. The run game for the Seattle Seahawks team has been phenomenal. And Sam Darnold's success really relies on having that good offensive line as well, because the failures that we saw from Sam Darnold last year, which were limited but a lot more noticeable at the end of the year, did come behind a very porous Vikings offensive line where the talks of him seeing ghosts and stuff like that. A lot of that was not necessarily seeing ghosts. It was seeing a fucking bull running right at you because your offensive line was letting guys through. And it's not really the case as much this year. This offensive line for the Seahawks has been fantastic. So I definitely give the edge to the Seahawks there.
I agree. We're going to go with the Seahawks. Let's move on to the running back group because this is going to change a little bit possibly. You got Kenneth Walker and now no Charbonnet for the Seahawks with the Patriots having a multiple guy option there with Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, and they even have who the fuck was their third back that they even spell as at times. So
Antonio Gibson and Terrell Jennings were there. They're both on IR right now.
Okay, so I was thinking Antonio Gibson. So, but you got now at least still two guys versus Kenneth Walker. Where are you going to lean in this one? Obviously, we are big fans of Kenneth Walker. I'm a big fan of Kenneth Walker. And if Charbonnet is playing in this game, I give the edge to the Seahawks. But without Charbonnet, I got to give an edge in my mind to the Patriots because they can do it with multiple guys. Travion Henderson has not played a ton in this playoffs. I think that he will get a couple of opportunities. He is a big play waiting to happen. They're going to have to try to find a way to make an explosive play happen, and that's a guy that can do it. So I'm going Patriots. Where are you going?
If Charbonnet was able to be playing, I would give that edge to the Seahawks. I think this is a lot closer to a push for me because I do view Kenneth Walker so highly. He is a good receiver. He's a good runner. He's explosive, a good pass protector. You have Stevenson, who is a little bit more of the bruising back, and then obviously the speedster in Travion Henderson. I think that those guys combined actually equate relatively close to what you're getting from Kenneth Walker. The thing is that Kenneth Walker's primary backup right now is George Holani, who is a little bit of a thumper, and he's not terrible by any means. He's a guy that you would be happy to have on your team as a backup or a third back, but he's not moving the needle for me too much. The question is Kenneth Walker going to get tired? Does he need to be spelled more or not? We obviously saw a very interesting split through the year between Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker that we brought up a lot. So in my mind, Kenneth Walker is fresh still. And if you watch how he performed in the playoffs, especially in the championship game, like he looks every bit a part of a top 5 back in the league, doing some crazy shit out there. I like Kenneth Walker a lot. So I almost put this at a push for me. The only thing that would edge me one way or the other is the fact that Kenneth Walker is going to have to go out there and perform for 95% of the game, whereas there can be a much easier split and rest periods for the Patriots guys.
So you're telling me I got to watch you suck imaginary dicks and talk about edging yourself? This is just getting ridiculous.
It's a family show.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's a family show.
All right, man. So you're going with a push there?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm 1-0, you're 1-0 per team. Let's go with pass catchers. I'm not going to say tight ends and then receivers. We just go pass catchers. This is an interesting matchup because they do it in different ways. Obviously, JSN is one of the best receivers in the league. Just won Offensive Player of the Year. But the way who catches balls for these guys, interesting. 24-21. I like that. We'll see. Vastly different. There's a lot more tight end usage out there in the Patriots offense. So where are you going?
Yeah, so Patriots have Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. Henry obviously is, I would say he's an above average tight end, but he's not breaking into like that elite top 10 type of territory. And Austin Hooper is a guy who's out there contributing. Tight end wise for the Seahawks, AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo, Eric Saubert, those guys not like big home names either, but they're used quite a bit, a lot more in the blocking game though. If we're looking purely at wide receivers, I have to give the edge to the Seahawks. Not that I don't like some of the pieces that they have in New England as well. Obviously, Stefon Diggs can be special, was more special previously, and he's going to be bringing Cardi B out there, which is great. That's a lot of fun. It's not Taylor Swift fun, but it's Cardi B fun. Mac Hollins doesn't wear shoes. That's cool. and he's a contributor. Kayshon Boutte has shown a lot more this year, and guys like Efton Chisholm, another fantastic white on this Patriots team. Kyle Williams, who is a guy that I was super excited about in the draft process, and shown the ability to be kind of a burner. But they don't have any one guy that really stands out as like their alpha. Whereas you can look at this Seattle team and say, you got guys that are, if not, JSN is obviously the dude there, but you've got guys in Cooper Kupp who has done it before, Jake Bobo, who is a tall white. So they've got their competition there. And then, of course, Rashid Shaheed. Like, he's an alpha at what he does, which is that burner, returner, trick play end around type of guy. They have a couple standouts at that position on the Seattle side. So I'm leaning a little bit more to Seattle having the better receiving group as a whole here.
Yeah, I would go the same way, man. Seattle, JSN. Kayshon Boutte has been a cool story earlier in the year, like former first round pick, starting to kind of catch a stride, it looked like. Then the injuries caught up to him as well. The Patriots have found ways to just kind of get everybody going. Stefon Diggs being the most consistent, but none of those guys have been like truly like super special number one, not 1A type guys anyways. JSN is, you line him up against any corner and you like his odds. I don't care if it's the best corner in the fucking league. You still like JSN's odds. So
yeah, the Patriots wide receiver room is a lot more akin to the wide receiver rooms of the Green Bay Packers over the past 2 to 3 decades. You don't have anyone that's like true big time standout. The closest guy would be a Stefon Diggs there, but all these guys are contributing and doing their job. They're not knocking your socks off or anything like that, but they're doing their job. And without that, the passing game wouldn't be working correctly for this Patriots team. I mean, it's a relatively uninspiring receiver room, but you're getting guys like a Boutte that's way outperforming what you would have expected from him in the beginning of the year. You're seeing guys like Kyle Williams, who's not used a ton, but when he is used on those deep passes, it's very effective. So you're getting a lot out of guys who are overperforming their positions, I think, with this Patriots team. That being said, it's Seattle's pure talent is just that much better.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the most important position, quarterback. It's a pretty easy one. Like, in my mind, Drake May damn near just won the MVP. He's been playing at an incredibly high level all year, but will the moment be too big? I don't know, but based on pure talent, who's better? I'm going to go with Drake over Sam, but Sam Darnold has moved his career trajectory from one of a laughing stock to potentially one of like incredible redemption. I think he's already kind of there by getting there, but if he goes and wins this fucking thing, man, that story arc is incredible. So pure talent, I'm going to go with Drake, but I could understand going with Sam. Where are you going?
I'm a lot closer to a push between these two. It's difficult because if I'm looking just at like the guy who can pump out pure volume, it's Darnold. Like, he does have decent legs. He's shown that over the past couple of years and can move around, especially in the pocket. He might not be as prolific of like a true runner of the ball like Drake May is, but he does have legs on him still. I love Drake May's throw. I love his ball, his placement and everything, but pure prolific volume, and maybe it is partially because of the receivers that he has around him, is Sam Darnold in this one to me. But if I'm having to pick between one of these two guys to lead my franchise forward for the next 5-10 years, I'm probably leaning towards Drake May, because I think that the leap from year 1 to year 2 and what he could do from year 2 and beyond has such a huge ceiling on it. Sam Darnold, I think, is showing where his ceiling roughly is. There's been times, and look, he's much more prone to turnovers because he is expected to be able to throw that ball around a lot more, not protect it as much and be a little bit more, scary with it at times. But that's what you're going to get when you're getting these high volume passers. He's truly coming through on that, third overall pick status though that he had in Sam Darnold. But yeah, Drake May's not that far behind, and I think his ceiling has a higher cap. When it comes down strictly to this game, I don't know, man. It's tough for me because I can make compelling arguments for either of these guys. Part of me feels like right now Sam Darnold might be a little bit ahead, but this is pretty damn close. So I'll give the edge to Sam Darnold because he's a veteran. He's been in bad situations. He's shown that he can overcome the pressure situations. Drake May's pressure situations have all basically been this year and recent, and he's done pretty decent. It's not been as good in the playoffs, but again, I do think that weather had a lot to play into that, especially there in Denver. So I will give the slight edge right now to Sam Darnold.
All right, let's turn it over to the defensive side of the ball. Start at the defensive line. I feel like while the Patriots have a good defense, a lot of this is going to very much be very quick and easily slanted towards the Seahawks. The Seahawks are spectacular. Give me that defensive line for sure in this one. They can rush the passer. They are good at stopping the run as well. Where are you going?
Yeah.
I don't. This is kind of a stacked in the Seahawks direction kind of a feel. Like
I'm rolling through and trying to look at every position here. The closest one would be the starting outside cornerbacks for me,
right? Because you got between
and Carlton Davis out there for the Patriots, but you have Devin Witherspoon and Josh Jobe, Reek Woolen. Like Reek Woolen and Josh Jobe probably are interchangeable at that. And I think that they are at the same level of a Carlton Davis. Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez are closer. I'd probably give the edge there to Christian Gonzalez. But then when we start adding in kind of like nickel cornerbacks or slot cornerbacks and stuff like that, I think that they just have more depth when it comes to that Seahawks team compared to New England. So I don't think that there is a single position on here.
Yeah, that's what I was like, man. We're going to talk about the defense, but
like
it's really stacked in Seattle's favor.
I do like a lot of the pieces on this New England team, and I don't want to denigrate them too much. Obviously, Milton Williams, very expensive free agent hire, but he's been very solid this entire year. Kyers Tonga, a guy that I'm a big fan of because he basically didn't play much in the league, and the Vikings brought him in, and he showed that he could be a good nose tackle, and then went and did good things in Arizona with the Cardinals, and now is doing good things as a nose tackle role player for this Patriots team. Christian Barmore has been solid. He's dropped down a little bit in his career, but he's been solid and average that whole time. So they have a pretty decent 3-4 front there. Guys like Robert Spillane and Christian Ellis, Jack Gibbons. I like that linebacker core for a Vrabel style defense. They seem like those kind of high energy type players that fit that defense well. But you're also looking over at the Seattle team where it's just names on names on names. When you go to DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Murphy, the second, Leonard Williams, Boye Maffe's a backup. Jaron Reed's a backup. Like they got guys that can rotate in there constantly. Ernest Jones, one of the more fantastic pickups by this team at linebacker. They are really top to bottom awesome. And as much as we've been rizzing up that Houston Texans team and how good they were, the way that this Seahawks defense has played, especially through the playoffs, it's rivaling them as being one of, if not the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, it might very well be the best defense, especially when you consider how much better they can get because of how fucking young that defense is. Like you could add in a couple of veteran pieces on as an edge rusher or D-line, just rotational guys that help bring in some veteran leadership and are specialists. And that team could easily pay it because they got tons of salary cap space. You bring in more veteran leadership and it's just guys on guys rotating and you keep people fucking fresh. Like this Seahawks team is legit and they're going to be a problem for a long time as long as the quarterback play maintains.
Yeah.
So while I wanted to continue this experiment of let's go position by position, but we could do
place
that.
Kickers.
Okay, there we go.
Seahawks. Jason Myers.
Yeah.
Borregales has been very, very good, very consistent for this New England team. Jason Myers has had a phenomenal year, a top 5 year as far as a kicker.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about some of the gambling aspects then, man. Because breaking down each position, Sounds like we might be heading in the same direction when it comes to our game picks. But my man, let's break down some props. That's what the people like. I know producer Amber loves some prop bets. I know right off the rip, one of the prop bets that I enjoy is always the national anthem prop bet. This year it is 119.5 over under net. Charlie Puth. I don't know how the fuck you say his name.
I'm gonna say Puth. I don't know.
All right. Producer Amber is shaking her head. Yes. Charlie Puth will be performing that. I don't fucking know what his.
Who's Tiffany Haddish now?
Yeah, but you know what? I admitted I didn't know.
And you're not drunk.
Not currently.
I don't know if that helps or hurts. So what time for that?
Puff. Whatever. But I listen, 2 minutes, that's like right around where it always is. I don't know how he sings, so I can't give you an over under. But does anybody, do you know who Charlie Puth is?
Sounds very English to me, but I don't know. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I don't really follow the music portions of the Super Bowl, but you can bet on them. Let's just go over. I'd say over. Charlie Puth sounds like he likes to get elaborate with shit because going over.
All right, I need to see what this guy looks like.
Okay, here we go.
34 years old, married to Brooke Sansone. Is she hot?
Oh, that's how we're gonna figure out if
I need to know if this guy can go the distance or not. Okay.
Is she good? I mean, shot.
It's not bad. Middle name Otto. Charles Otto Puth Jr. Look, we're getting deep in the
Charles Otto Puth
Jr.
Yeah.
Sorry. American singer, songwriter, and record producer, gained recognition for viral song covers on YouTube.
Okay, so he's a cover guy. So if he goes famous for covers, I feel like he put some pizzazz on it. Over 2 minutes.
He got famous in 2015 for his contributions to the song "See You Again" with Wiz Khalifa, earning him a Grammy nomination. And he sang a song called "Marvin Gaye" with Meghan Trainor.
I didn't know any of that information about any of these people.
Yeah. Born in 91, 90s baby. You know what?
I think producer Amber,
I'll go opposite.
The notes.
I'll go under because as much as I'm a huge patriot, I feel like the pulse on America right now is a little bit less patriotic with everything going on in politics and things happening on islands and releases of those things, which we are not a part of. I remind you all. Raw Dog Sports is clean from the Epstein files for now. And and
I don't have enough money to be included.
Maybe they're going to try to wrap it up quick. I don't know. So I'll go under.
All right, going under. Oh man, will there be a reference to the Super Bowl in which the Steelers threw a pass on the 1 yard line?
Not the Steelers.
That's Jesus. The Seahawks.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
And
yes, minus 300. Yes, feels like it's almost guaranteed. Now, will the Seahawks throw another pass from the 1 yard line in this game?
Yes, because they're going to be scoring a lot, so they can do it both ways. I believe McDonald was asked that question, and he said, "Am I going to have Marshawn Lynch out there?" Something like that. Obviously, getting the reference. Will they reference the play? Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Will they pass? I think on one of their opportunities, if they're at the 1 yard line, then yes, they might. But with the Kenneth Walker there, I think in that offensive line, they have a solid opportunity to just pound the rock in as well.
Listen, we've seen them not want to give the ball to Kenneth Walker inside the fucking 20s. So
but it's not that they won't run it.
Correct.
It's not that they won't
run it.
They just give it to Charbonnet.
Right, but since he's not there, would it surprise me if they're like, you know what? fuck it, we're throwing the ball again.
Hey, good. I think that they will do both. And both will be successful.
Listen, I have a bet on a successful 2-point conversion happening in this game.
What about an octopus?
An octopus would be great for those of you who don't know. Person that scores the touchdown also scores the 2-point conversion, giving them 8 points, which is how many legs an octopus has.
Not including his cock. Next up, will they show footage of Sam Darnold working in the stadium as a backup just 2 years ago when he was with the 49ers?
No, probably not. I mean, I feel like the narrative on Sam Darnold is going in a positive direction.
I do as well, and it depends on what segment of time we are traditionally looking at. If this is a lot of the pre-game stuff where they're going to be highlighting all the different stories, Sam Darnold is one of the stories from his Jets and Panthers time, which was shit, and then his rehabilitation, which started in San Francisco 2 years ago. And so if they're doing kind of a story arc thing, then yeah, they absolutely could show that. If this is purely from kickoff to kickoff, no, they will not.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that they'll bring that in there if it's in the game. Now, will they make a reference to Sam Darnold seeing ghosts? That will very much depend, I think, on how this game goes. If Sam's playing well, no. Well, actually, I don't know. Who's calling this game again? Is this
Mike Tirico, I believe, is one of them.
Tirico is calling it, huh?
Not sure. Look, at plus 2,000 odds for a yes.
I mean, it might be worth $1 on the seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
Especially if they end up playing bad.
Mm-hmm. Now, will the New York Jets be referenced? Pretty much in direct relation to Sam Darnold and the fact that they play in the same division as that Patriots team. It's plus 400 for a yes. That feels a lot closer to a yes than the minus 400 for a no for me. Yeah, they try to focus on the teams that are playing, but I don't know how they don't reference at some point in time Sam Darnold's journey through the game and have to talk about him being
drafted
by the Jets. Yeah. So I feel like that's a slam dunker.
Yeah, that one feels good. At plus 400 odds, feels very, very good. Oh, man. Shout out Bleacher Report, by the way, for coming up with a pretty cool list here that we're kind of stealing and just coming up with some on our own. But over under Drake May comparisons to Tom Brady. Over or under 1.5. I feel like this has got to be over.
A lot of it is a one time is guaranteed. Then I think it's going to be based on his play. Because if he starts leading a insane comeback or just looks absolutely the part, I don't know how the announcers are not going to be able to not be all over this. Is he the next Brady for this team?
Well, and I don't know that the comparison is going to be like a fucking Drake May. It's just like Tom Brady. It's not going to be a fucking simile or something like that. It'll be like, oh man, they're in a position. Remember the last time a young quarterback came in and they had to lead a game-winning drive? That's referencing Tom fucking Brady. Just because they don't say his name doesn't mean it's not a comparison.
And it's going to be a very difficult one to judge regardless, because the name Tom Brady is going to be brought up a lot just because New England is playing. Not it could be Mac Jones out there. Doesn't really matter. Tom Brady's going to be brought up. It's directly got to be in reference to some sort of a comparison. And like you said, they don't have to use the direct name, but they can be talking about the situations and stuff and what Tom Brady did and what's happening on the field. And that would, in my mind, be a comparison. It's a little bit tougher to grade this one appropriately and score it, but I do think that the over is 2 times plausible.
Yeah, I like the over there as well.
Over under mentions on Sam Darnold being a journeyman. Over of 2.5 is minus 110. Under is minus 110 as well. I think that we are looking at the under on this one. I don't really recall him being referenced a journeyman at all when he was with my Vikings, because a journeyman, he had stops in New York with the Jets, obviously where he was drafted. not journeyman status at that point. Moving on to your second team, you're not a journeyman. Now he's on his fifth team, but I don't think it was a journeyman arc. It's not where he's just bouncing team to team to team. It's like he got to Minnesota, and that's the first spot that you could have started to think about him being a journeyman, but his production level went through the roof, and all of a sudden the journeyman vibe completely went away. Now he's franchise quarterback. So I don't know that he had enough run as a subpar quarterback for him to be labeled as a journeyman. I'm going with the under on this one personally.
Yeah. I agree that journeyman. I feel like if anything, they could have said that he was on the track of being a bust. Like if they were going to reference ghosts or any of those things, it would be in reference to that and to show like the arc of how far he has come from those really dark days of that last year with the fucking Jets. But I don't know that you would call him a journeyman per se.
Yeah.
It only feels like he's only really played for 3 teams, this being the third one. Like he was on 5, but he didn't fucking necessarily play like you would remember.
Half a year that he played with the Panthers.
Yeah, but that even felt like that was Baker, and then he kind of came in for a little while, and then Baker was back, and then they went to another quarterback. And they played 3 different fucking guys. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him that though. But
this next one though, pretty fun.
Oh yeah, this is a great one. Over under 3.5 Mike Vrabel chest bumps. It's really game dependent. We got to tell you.
Very much so.
If the Patriots are having a lead, or if they're
playing competitive,
yeah, keeping
it close.
We got chest bumps over on 3.5. If they're getting their dicks kicked in, it's hammer the under.
I would also
not going to be happy.
I would also need clarification on this one because
do they have to leave the ground?
No, I'm talking can do chain chest bumps not count? Because the defense goes out there and has a big 4th down stop. He might be liable to chest bump 3 or 4 guys in that one segment. If we're talking about individual standalone chest bumps of Ramondre Stevenson just got a 30-yard run chest bump. And then, you have Jack Gibbons goes out there and tips a ball, sending the Seahawks to a 4th down chest bump. Those are individual chest bumps for me. But if these got guys coming off the, to the sideline, he's bing, bing, bing. Do those count? I don't know. I need clarification. But again, yes, very heavily dependent on how the game is going, because if things are not looking well, the chest bumps won't be happening. Okay,
so let's make an executive decision, because there's nobody where you can bet this. This is just for you and the boys at the house. Whether you want to turn it into a drinking game or you want to put some fucking pizza money on it. I say that the chain chest bumps only count as a 1 chest bump situation. I still feel like there's plenty of
there's opportunities. This is going to be telling of how we think this game is going to go.
You're going under. All right.
I think we hit 3.
I would say I still feel like we can get maybe a 4th. I'm thinking 2 good defensive possessions.
Change chest bumps don't count. I'm going 3, which is the under.
I'm thinking two chest bumps for sure on defensive possessions. 1 on offense, and maybe the special teams. Is he going to get something on special teams, or somebody makes a big special teams play? Because if we get a special teams play, we're hitting the over. And there's going to be an extra chest bump. I'm going over.
All right. Next, an over-under on references to Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and or Taylor Swift, despite them not having anything to do with the game.
Over.
And we're looking at 1.5.
Over. I don't care how many it was. It's going to be over how many it should be.
I'll take the opposite. I'll go under.
Are you going to go under?
Unless they're at the game. Then I'm fucked. But I don't think they will be. I'll go under.
Okay. We'll see. I'm going over. I don't trust the media that much. They will shoehorn in Taylor Swift any chance they get. No offense to Taylor. Big fan. But damn, I want to watch football. This is why I don't care about the halftime show either. But all right, man. We got some additional ones in here. Or do you want to get into some actual bets that we like for the game?
Look, we only got a couple here left on this Bleacher Report sheet. Real quick, and I'm just going to rattle these off to you, and then I want to get into a separate prop bet sheet after we make our picks for the game that I'm just going to rapid fire again to you here to see where you're at. But these are players or people from the past on these teams being referenced. Pete Carroll, over under 2.5 times.
Under.
Russell Wilson, over under 2.5 times.
Over.
Marshawn Lynch, over under 1.5 times.
Over.
Mike Holmgren, will he be referenced at all? Yes or no?
No.
Matt Hasselbeck, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. I would have gone with a no there. Sean Alexander, yes or no?
Yes.
And Gerard Mayo, over under 0.5 time. So again, will he be mentioned? Yes or no?
Yeah, he will have to be.
All right. Will they show footage of Mike Vrabel as a player? Minus 150 for yes. Hard yes. Fuck. Hard yes. And will they bring up the Hall of Fame snub of Bill Belichick? Minus 400 for yes.
Yeah, 100%. As they should. They should bury the fucking Hall of Fame for doing that.
All right. Will Bad Bunny make a political statement? Minus 154, yes. The whole thing's going to be a political statement. If he wears a dress like he said that he's going to, it's a political statement of some sort. Right? Am I off with that?
I don't know how he identifies, but as far as I know, it's not as... I don't fucking know, man. I'm not nuanced enough to understand this shit, to be completely honest, and I don't want to offend anybody. Because listen, do your thing. Live your life. Vote the way you want to fucking vote. Just stop following what everybody else wants to do. I'm a very much live and let live type of person. But yeah, it probably is somewhat of a political statement based on the nature of the show and the position the country is in. So yeah, he will make a political statement.
Will Green Day make a political statement? Specifically, a lyric swap?
Yeah. I mean, it's Green Day.
You don't put, eyeshadow and eyeliner on without making a political statement.
I mean, American Idiot is the name of one of their songs, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're going to make a political statement.
And then over under duration of time spent discussing the 2026 Olympics. Over 100 seconds is minus 110, under plus 110. And my question here again is this going to be kickoff to kickoff?
Do ads count? Because they're going to be, there's going to be some sort of promotion, right, for the Olympics during the Super Bowl?
I would have to assume so. NBC is the primary broadcaster for this. Again, Mike Tirico is one of the announcers for the game, and he is one of the announcers for the Winter Olympics as well, and will be going out to Milan to announce or talk about, be a talking head for the Winter Olympics. So
same network.
There's a lot of reasons why they would be talking about it. So a minus 110 for over 100 seconds makes a little bit of sense there. All right, that can wrap up some of our fun and unique prop bets for this, but we do have an actual big game hosted by the superb Owl to talk about. Seattle Seahawks are technically playing at the New England Patriots, even though this is in San Francisco. We are getting our odds, our spreads off of FanDuel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't hate us if that's not the market that you use. That's what we're going off of to keep this nice and even for the rest of the year and to finish out our season. Right now, Seattle Seahawks are favored minus 4.5 points, minus 112 odds. Or you can give 4.5 points to the New England Patriots at minus 108 odds. Money line for the Seahawks is minus 240, plus 198 money line for Patriots, and an over-under in this game of 45.5. Minus 108 for the over, minus 112 for the under. Mike, we've already kind of talked about each of these teams, the position groups, some of the stuff with those prop bets could have played in a little bit to our thoughts on this game. Where are you going at in this one?
I feel like this game could really be a blowout. The Seahawks are a fucking phenomenal team We went through our little like who's better at position groups. We got to the defense, didn't even have to fucking continue on because the Seahawks win every position group. They win several of the offensive position groups as well. I know Patriots fans are ready to be back, but this team is not ready to win a Super Bowl yet. They're way ahead of schedule. You know what's great for the Patriots though? You guys are back. You guys are going to be around for a very long time. You'll continue to grow. Vrabel's a badass coach. That team has young pieces that are getting better and that will continue to get better. But the Seahawks are an absolute fucking wagon, dude. Like, they have been phenomenal all year. The only worry I have is, will Kenneth Walker hold up for the entire game? Because but this is it. Last game of the season. Can't hold anything back. So, he is going to give everything he's got. I like the Seahawks in this game, and I like them -4.5. I really do think there's a potential this could be a rather unfun Super Bowl unless you are gambling and making some money on it. I think the Patriots are a good team, but halfway through the season, we're like, man, they could maybe go on a run because their schedule. And things have just kind of worked out. They ran into the Broncos last week, who couldn't score because of the weather. Like, they have been kind of gifted some situations. I don't think that's going to happen down there in San Francisco. So, yep, Seahawks -4.5 for me, brother.
Yeah. Again, props to the Patriots and everything they've done this year. I think that they are going to be back to being a powerhouse in this league. The Seattle team, from top to bottom, doesn't really have a weakness. My fear isn't Kenneth Walker. I have supreme faith in Kenneth Walker and his abilities to perform in this game, even if he's out there for every single offensive snap. Mine is Sam Darnold, and that is as a guy who likes Sam Darnold and was very happy with what he did with my team last year. I still have some of the fear that, not that the moment will become too big, but if things start to unravel a little bit, that it could get him off track and make him a little bit more risk averse, or it could all just start to snowball, specifically the interceptions. If the Patriots are able to somehow rattle Sam Darnold and get him into a more of an interception happy mode, then things are going to get a lot closer. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that the Seahawks are going to know that they can run, maybe at least initially, a little bit more of a subdued game plan because their defense is so damn good. They're going to have the confidence that they're going to be able to hold this Patriots team at bay and keep it low scoring, that they can run a little bit more of a mundane offense, especially initially, until they get up a couple scores, and then they can start to kind of maybe open things up a little bit more to try to create that gap, a larger gap. I as well am going Seattle Seahawks -4.5 in this one because, like you, I think that there's a potential. I am hoping for the New England +4.5 for it to be like that, because that means that the game is pretty close and going to be a fun one to watch. But my fear as well is that this could be low scoring for this Patriots team, and that Seattle might really start to run away with it. So I'm going to be going on my pick for this game, Seahawks -4.5 points.
That'll lock us in for a tie then on the playoffs. We're both 8-2 at the moment.
8-2. Yep. 8-2 on our selections for the playoffs.
9-2 or 8-3. Let's go for 9-2. Let's make some people some money. I don't know about you, but I already have a couple of bets in for the Superb Owl. Woo. I think that there's going to be there will be some touchdowns scored in this game by the Patriots. And if they score a touchdown, it's going to be the big playmaker, Stefon Diggs. He's going to find a way in a big moment to get in the end zone. So I got an anytime touchdown on Stefon Diggs in this game. And I also have a parlay for the people. I got Sam Darnold going over 229.5. Travion Henderson going over 18.5 rushing yards. Very low because he has not been getting a lot of play in the playoffs. So I felt like that's a good value right there. Stefon Diggs over 44.5 receiving yards. Also pretty low there. I feel like if they are able to get anything going, Stefon Diggs is going to be the guy that they're going to target. And then JSN over 6.5 receptions. Sam Darnold's favorite target. JSN's going to get force fed the ball when that ball is getting thrown. $10 wins you 78.54. So that's a plus 685 odds is what I'm rocking with for the people. I like it, man. When I saw how low Travion Henderson's yards were, I was a little shocked.
Yeah. I could definitely see him breaking off at least one run of 15 yards, and then he only needs a little bit more to surpass that. I too have a parlay that I've already placed. It's not as bullish as yours, but it is a 4-legger. This was back in February 1st, where I was feeling even better about the Seahawks. I took them on the money line. Sam Darnold over 228.5 passing yards. Kenneth Walker to have the most rushing yards in the game. And Sam Darnold for 2 or more passing touchdowns gives me plus 384 odds. So not as bullish, but my little short 4-leg parlay that I put in there for that game.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right.
Go ahead, man.
I got one last run through here. A little prop bet sheet. You can find a lot of these prop bets. This is less of the exotics and stuff like that, though they're sprinkled in here. But we're going to just quick run through this rapid fire for both of us. Coin toss results: head, tails.
Tails.
Heads, because the boy loves head. National anthem. Over or under 120.5 seconds. We already did that one. You're going over. I'm going under. Jersey number of the first touchdown score. Will the jersey number be over the number 10.5 or under the number 10.5?
Over.
Under. Kenneth Walker, number 9. Which team wins the race to 10 points? Seahawks or Patriots?
Seahawks.
Seahawks as well. Will a non-quarterback make a pass attempt? Yes or no?
No.
I agree. No. Will there be a flea flicker attempted? We've seen a couple of them in the playoffs so far.
There will be a trick play, but I don't know if it's going to be a flea flicker. I feel like there's something getting cooked up for Rashid Shaheed. I just don't know what it is.
That's where I'm going as well. I feel like there might be a reverse end around with Rashid Shaheed involved there. So I'm also going to go no. Which coach will be shown first, McDonald or Vrabel?
Vrabel.
I'm going to go with McDonald because they're going to do a lot on Vrabel in this one, I think. So they're going to give him the first shot and then lean into some Vrabel there. Will the first score be a touchdown or a field goal?
Touchdown.
Field goal. I'll just go opposite on this one. Who will win the first half, Seahawks or Patriots?
Seahawks.
All right, I agree. Who, as far as another artist, will Bad Bunny bring out at halftime?
Green Day. I mean, that's confirmed, right?
I don't know.
I thought
I know Green Day's involved. I don't know that they're part of the halftime show. Just because I don't listen to the music.
Cardi
don't
B.
know it. I don't know I think Cardi B will be in the stands. I'm gonna go because Bad Bunny, this is not his first time in the Super Bowl. Shakira brought him out. I think he brings Shakira out. Maybe we'll go with that. Okay. Which quarterback will have more passing yards, Darnold or May? Darnold.
Yeah, I think that's right. If the
Patriots are behind, May might have to pass more.
That's why I'm like, man, I don't know, because game script tells me that they might have to put the ball up more.
I will go with Darnold.
I'm going to go May. I am going to go May because they're going to have to throw the ball.
I could definitely talk myself into that. Which wide receiver will have more receiving yards, Njigba or Diggs?
Oh, Njigba.
Yeah, I got to go with that as well. Will there be a 2-point attempt in the game?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to have one being successful.
I also agree. Will the game end in a scoregami? I'm going no, because it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, scoregami. Like, if you can bet a scoregami and you get it to hit, good for you, brother. That's like winning the fucking lottery.
In the regular season, even.
Yeah.
Will the game go to overtime? I'm going to say no, but I'm hoping yes.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. Why do you want it to go to overtime? Just because?
This is it for football, man.
This is it.
This is it. It's like if we're about to go on a deployment and you're getting your last pumps in on the old lady, make it last a little longer. Start thinking about something.
Yeah. Slow down them strokes. Slow down them strokes a little bit.
Which team will commit the first turnover? Seahawks or Patriots?
Patriots.
I'm going to go with Seahawks. I do think that Darnold probably has an interception in this one. Longest touchdown scored, will it be over or under 36.5 yards?
Ooh, over. Jaxon is going to catch a deep pass for sure.
All right, I will go under. 36.5 is a big number. I think that we could see some explosive plays, but I'll go with the under on that one. Longest field goal, will it be over or under 50.5 yards?
Over.
I agree. Total points scored, even or odd?
Even.
I'll go odd just because I can't think about that right now. And which team will win the Super Bowl? I think we've already determined that we both believe it to be the Seahawks in this one. Lastly, what color Gatorade is going to be poured on the coach? Blue for me.
I wanted to go blue because I think
both teams got a lot of blue.
Yeah, it feels. I'm going red. The classic fucking red, bro.
Wouldn't classic be the yellow?
Man, I think of red always, like that fucking. Maybe yellow was classic.
It was the original.
Okay, I didn't know.
The Gatorade made for the Florida Gators, and it was that piss yellow. Like you're dehydrated, and if your piss looks like this, drink more Gatorade.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I'm going red. Yeah, still going red.
All righty. Well, that probably wraps it up for our superb owl. We'll go with big game, our big game stuff.
Why is that a thing? Why the fuck do we have?
It is specifically having to do with betting and gambling. My understanding is it has to do with the gambling aspect.
Okay, it's so stupid. But thank you everybody who tuned into the Superb Owl episode.
Now, look, I know we're running a little bit longer. Yeah, and everyone wants to get on with their weekend. Do you want to make any comments about this NBA trade deadline before we dip out?
I cannot believe we brought in James Harden.
Are you happy about it?
No, I'm not.
He's got a great beard.
This doesn't get us any closer to a fucking NBA title. It gets us farther away. So, cool. I guess I can go see James Harden play now. Yeah. Great.
I have to say I watched the trade deadline a lot more because my Timberwolves were deeply involved in the Giannis conversation. Mm-hmm. I was very scared about it because I believe that you should put together like a full squad on the court, and the talks of losing a Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle possibly in the trade, I could care less about the picks that would be involved, but those players, that scared me because I think Jaden McDaniels is phenomenal. I think Julius Randle is a huge part of our team. So to not lose either of those guys and still bring in an Ayo Dosunmu from the Bulls, I think is pretty spectacular. Sad about losing Rob Dillingham, but he hasn't produced for us quite like we want to yet. Hasn't developed completely, but happy to bring him in. So I'm cool with that.
Baseball's right around the corner, dog. That's what I'm looking forward to because the Cavs stink.
Not me. Until Minnesota gets a baseball team. Yeah. And they don't have a baseball team until they fucking sell the current one that's there.
We re-signed Jose Ramirez this offseason, and he's never leaving, dog. He committed to Cleveland. That's the greatest thing that Cleveland has going for it in terms of athletes right now. I love Jose Ramirez. I cannot wait for baseball season to get here because the Guardians will at least give me a little bit of hope.
And we did have this comment from Derpy coming earlier. I didn't forget you, Derpy. Mike, what's going wrong, or what is wrong with the Cleveland baseball team? I'm excited for these young guys, but we didn't do nothing, and the Dodgers just make baseball and watch them more and more every year.
Yeah, so the Dodgers are making it tough because they just are going out and buying everybody and everything, deferring money to do it, even though they have the money to pay these people. It's an interesting moment here in Cleveland, though, with this team, because we're going to finally start to see a lot of these young guys that everybody's been talking about. They're going to have to play. Like, there's no way that they can't play at this point. We're running out of time. So we'll have another interesting year where maybe at times we'll be up, down, middling. We'll see a lot of young guys have great moments and some struggles. We're close, but this will be an interesting year for the guards. I just hope that we're not, throwing pitches into the dirt on purpose for people to make money. If we can stop doing that, this team has a pretty good shot to compete, I think.
All righty.
So, but with that, thank you guys for tuning into our Superb Owl gambling show. We love to talk about gambling. We love to talk all things sports, football specifically, and we appreciate every single one of you guys for coming in and bullshitting us while we do that. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. I'm going to give Evo one last word, then we're going to get the fuck out of here until we are back on Tuesday. We'll recap the Super Bowl. We'll see how everybody's bankroll's doing after the weekend as well. Let's see who did hit some good bets, who didn't. But with that, Evo, go ahead, man.
I just want to thank everyone who has watched us today and watched us throughout this football season. This is our last show for the 25-26 NFL football season. It's been a fun one, a wild one, a lot of parody. We appreciate you coming along on this ride with us, helping us grow, helping us build more content. We can't thank everyone enough for everything that they've done to support us. And we are really, really looking forward to getting into the off season and everything that's coming up with this next NFL season, along with all the other sports that are going on. So to you, the people, my last word is thank you.
Guys, I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is Raw Dog Sports. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. See you.